Hi, we're here with Kathleen Paul, Director of the Pennsylvania Center for Environmental Education. Kathleen, you just gave the Joint Senate-House Conservation Committee sort of an overview of the center and what its mission is. What kinds of things does the center do, and could you give me sort of the same sort of background you gave them?
Sure. We were founded back in 1997 by an executive order by Governor Tom Ridge. Since that time, our mission is to link Pennsylvanians with environmental education resources. And so that's primarily what we do. We do it mainly through our website, www.pcee.org, where we have just a wealth of information for the general public, for teachers and other educators about how to teach about the environment.
Well, one of the neat things about the center is that it just doesn't produce materials on its own.
Mm-hmm.
The idea, I think, is to connect people with resources all over the state. Can you give me an idea about how you do that?
Yeah, we're really not interested in reinventing the wheel, and we know that there are a lot of really great organizations out there and great educators doing excellent environmental education in their communities. The thing is that Pennsylvania is a really huge state, and that information and those materials don't always get out to everybody. And so through our website, which gets over 3 million hits a year, we're trying to link people up with those resources, so essentially those resources can be used anywhere.
I think one of the things on your website that's pretty neat is a calendar of events, not only for individuals, but also for teachers, for professional development, that sort of thing. Could you give me a highlight of that and some other things that are on the web?
Sure, yes. That's just one of several databases that we have on our web. The Environmental Education Events Calendar, you can search it. It's a searchable database. You can search it by the region, by the topic that you're interested in, and also by dates. And so you can find out what's going on anywhere in the state in terms of either events. It can be events for the public, it can be programs for teachers, it can be trainings, workshops and trainings, things of that sort. The other thing that's really interesting about this calendar is that organizations can add their own, add information themselves. So for instance, if a nonprofit organization is going to be doing a program for teachers, for children, for the general public about the environment, they can go online and there's actually a form that they can fill out putting in all of this information. Another database that we have on our website is called the Facilities Guide, and this is a listing of over 220 state parks, nature centers, conservation districts that offer environmental education programs. And again, it's searchable, so you can look for it by the region of the state, the sorts of programs that you're looking for. And for instance, you can click on a county, and what will come up then will be a map showing you where all of these different facilities are. And then when you click on the individual facility, you'll go right to their website where you'll get all the information you could want. Another thing that I mentioned in the talk that's interesting that you can do is if you're going to be traveling to another part of the state that you're unfamiliar with, you can go to our website, you can find out what sorts of programs are going to be available there. You can also find out where there are really great parks where you can go for a walk or maybe take in a program.
Well, one of the other neat features is Question of the Week, and I get on there every week actually, and do that to see if I'm up to the challenge of a fifth grader. You know.
I'll have to check to see if you get the answers right, Dave. Yeah, that's a very interesting program, and I wanted to mention that we're actually administered by the Pennsylvania State System of Higher Education, and we're located at Slippery Rock University on the western side of the state. And so we have Slippery Rock University grad students working in our office, and one of our grad students is actually responsible for Question of the Week, which is why they're such fun and colorful and interactive activities. But basically we post, as you mentioned, we post a new question every Monday during the school year, and these questions are aimed roughly at middle schoolers, but they actually work very well for younger kids and older kids as well. The question will be based on one of the environment and ecology standards, and so a question will be posed, there are possible answers, and then there are links, and the answers always included somewhere in the link. So if you go to the links, you can find the answer. And so it helps students develop research skills, and it also is a really great tool for the teachers, because we have a lot of teachers telling us that this is something they can have their students do on the side, and sometimes they build whole activities around it. And then finally, and I don't know if you knew this, Dave, but if you answer at least 6 questions right during the school year, you qualify for a prize at the end of the year. So be sure to put your name in there when you enter this little program.
And didn't I hear that your granddaughter does this too?
She does, and I didn't even know she did. And somebody said, "Isn't your granddaughter's name Sydney?" And it turns out that Sydney in Lansing, Michigan, has been doing Question of the Week and getting most of the answers right. So that's pretty fun.
You have a lot of things that you're doing right now. What's the future look like? What's sort of the next step that you're looking at?
Well, the first thing is that we want to continue providing really in-depth service for educators, because, as you know, the environment and ecology standards are going to be part of the assessment test this spring for the first time. And teachers are really looking for standards-based activities, information, and training. So we're going to continue to provide that sort of information for them, those resources. But we're also realizing that environmental education isn't just for kids, that we adults are really looking for ways to be more environmentally conscious in our lives. Everything from businesses wanting to do more green building, or more green offices. For instance, we know that a green office is a more productive office. That means it's actually making more money. But businesses don't always know where to go to get information about how to get energy audits, or how to find someone who can help them make their offices more green. And so we are developing a new website at this time. We're doing it behind the scenes. It's almost ready to come out. I'm hoping within the next 6 months we'll be rolling it out. And it's going to be targeting not only teachers, providing services for teachers, but also linking up members of the general public in their professions, the agriculturalists, the local government people who have to make land use decisions, environmental nonprofits who might need support with social marketing, as well as the general public who's really trying to figure out how to save money on their energy bills and be more environmentally conscious in their homes. And so we'll have literally thousands of links that will link people in all of these user groups to the services, the products, the training, and the funding that they need to be able to be more environmentally responsible in their lives.
I understand there's some state legislation now pending in the House, I believe, to set up a formal board. There is a board right now, but to change some of the governance and operation of the center. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, that's Senate Bill 356, and it's a bill that was introduced and written by Senator Mary Jo White, who's been very supportive of PCEE over the years. And as I understand it now, it's passed in the Senate. It's made it through the House Environment and Energy Committee, and it's now in appropriations. And so we hope that that'll move through, because basically it'll give us more guidance and more governance, and we're looking for that.
So it sounds like you're pretty busy.
Yeah, we're incredibly busy. Oh, one other program I wanted to tell you about, since you're so technologically fluent, you might appreciate it. It's called Critter Quest, a PA species search, and we're developing it with a grant from the Wild Resource Conservation Program from DCNR. And it's very exciting. It's more than a little bit overwhelming. I mentioned that whenever somebody says new technology and easy in the same sentence, you want to run, because you're going to be in trouble shortly. And that's basically what happened here. We took on this new project. We're using ArcIMS software, which is not an easy piece of software to use, and we're combining it with GAP files from PASDA, and if you can tell me what GAP means, I'd appreciate it. But basically what we're doing is we're taking data about where the critters live, the 460 mammals, amphibians, fish, reptiles, and birds all over Pennsylvania that are native to Pennsylvania. We have the GAP files that give us information about where they live or where they might be living in Pennsylvania, and we're combining that with data about watersheds, where the watersheds are, where the population density is, a topographical data, and what we're going to have is an interactive map that'll be on our website. And when you come to it, each person who opens to it will be creating their own interactive map, and you'll be able to overlay what information you'd like to see graphically over the state of Pennsylvania. And then you'll be able to zoom into an area, hopefully as small as 5 by 5 square miles, 25 square miles, 5 by 5 quadrant. And you'll be able to look there and combine where different critters might be with some of these different elements. So I think it's going to be really exciting. It's been a challenge. It's been a real challenge. We have people literally all over the country trying to figure out how to make this all work. But by the middle of this year, we're going to have that out online. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Well, that's terrific. Looks like you're up to a lot of good stuff, and a lot more in the future.
Yeah, we are working hard. We think everyone in my office, we love our jobs. We think it's the best work in the world to be doing, and we're tackling it.
Well, that's great. Thanks very much, Kathleen.
You're so welcome. Thank you, Dave.